Stevie Wonder, from my understanding, is one of your mentors, and he declared that "This Is Why I Love You" would be the wedding song forever, or the year of that moment. How did you formulate that relationship with Stevie Wonder?
Well, um, it's wild because I always dreamt of having a relationship with Stevie Wonder because I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, that's a hero. That's a
King.
great. It's an icon.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
I had moments prior to where I would sing in spaces where he was, and he would
Mm.
just be leaving or just be
Mm.
coming. And I'm like, I need a little more time. And I remember
Hmm.
one time every single time I would have these moments, we would have a moment of connection. One time when I was 18, he walked in a room and just he has his hand on my head and everybody is quiet in the room and I'm like, why did everybody get quiet? And it's Stevie Wonder saying, "Can I sit here?" And I'm like, you Stevie Wonder, you can sit wherever you want. But
Yeah.
the moment never went beyond that. And then I remember one time I had to sing for a wedding reception, and then after he shakes my hand and, of course, I tried to hyper spiritualize it like, oh, he's exchanging, he's giving me the blessing, and, and, and that moment didn't go beyond that. But then when he heard Why I Love You
Okay.
on his radio station at
Uh huh.
KJLH,
Uh
shout
huh.
out to
Uh
Tammy
huh.
Mack.
Uh huh.
He called in and said, "What's the song that everybody is listening to these days?" And she says, "Why I
Hmm.
Love You" by Major. Also, renamed by the public as "This Is Why I Love You," because
Hmm.
we will rename what we
Well,
want to name a song.
yeah, yeah. It's Squid Games. We call it the Squid Games or whatever. Yeah, whatever we feel like.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
add
yeah,
a
yeah,
the or a.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, the four hundred
Because it's our
five.
song. It's ours. It's ours
Yeah, it's
now.
ours.
And
It's
so,
ours. Hmm.
yes. And so, "Why I Love You," he starts talking about it apparently, and people are calling me like, "Stevie Wonder's talking about you on the radio," and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Stevie Wonder's talking about me?" And
Hmm.
I get a phone call. I'm in the studio. Shout out to Harmony Samuels. I'm in the studio working on my new music,
Hmm.
and I get a missed call, and it says, "This is Stevie Wonder, Major. This is Stevie Wonder. I hope I'm not bothering
No,
you."
no, no, no,
I,
no. It was not.
this
They. It wasn't a Zoom. It was a phone call. So I don't know why you're doing
Yeah,
a Stevie Wonder impression. You should go
because
home now.
you can literally feel the physicalities
No,
come through
you
the phone.
cannot.
I
You
yes
cannot.
you can. Yes you can.
No,
I mean,
no,
you
you
can.
cannot. Okay,
Yes.
go on.
Okay. Have Oprah call you. Have
Oh,
Oprah call you and tell me
you
you can't
already
imagine
listen.
how she's doing it.
Listen. You talked about how you and CV exchange energies. I met Oprah like 4 years ago and wouldn't let go of her hand, and they were like, "We've got a clinger. We've got a clinger. If we
Right?
can get this woman off of Oprah, it'd be great." They
Yeah.
were talking to
No.
their wrists, trying to remove me.
Well, I'll just say if Oprah calls you on the phone, if
Okay,
Oprah
you okay?
calls you.
Wait, stop. Go finish TV, then go to Oprah. Go
Okay,
on.
so Stevie, I get the call, and so I call him back, and I'm like, he's like, if you can call me, I would like to invite you to be a part of my House Full of Toys concert, and I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So I call back, and I'm like, first of all, Mr. Wonder, you did not interrupt me or disturb me, and then we go on to talk. He says he invites me to his show. I do this show. It's Lionel Richie, John Legend, Jennifer
Wow!
Hudson,
Wow! Wow! Wow!
the
Wow!
people, like
Wow!
everybody. And he
Wow!
says on stage, now I can impersonate verbatim.
Okay, fine,
He
go.
says, he says, I believe, I believe this will be the wedding love song for years to come. He said, for years to come.
Amen.
And I'm thinking, let me tell you
Hmm.
something, yo. If Stevie, and he's a jokester, so I'm saying this
Yeah.
unapologetically, if Stevie can see it, you know we got something.
Yeah. Well, Stevie can see though, for real, for real.
I think he can see a little bit
I
more.
know you
He's
can.
silly.
I know you know.
He's hilarious to the point where he will FaceTime you and have like a full out FaceTime. My brother PJ Morton talked about it and Warren Campbell talked about it. But he will literally FaceTime you in real time sometimes and
Okay.
you're like, what am I what are we doing here? And he's just laughing.
So
He's a
wait, you got
clown.
okay. So first of all, If
Yeah.
you were in front of me, I'd punch you. And if this was a phone call, I'd hang up. But I need to
Okay.
do this because I want to fight you. I don't know how to express the physicality that I'm feeling right now as you tell me
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder FaceTimes you. I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. You're telling me
Listen,
Stevie Wonder will FaceTime you.
and it's wild. It's wild because I'm like, you do know we can do this over the phone and not make this awkward. But
No,
he's just like,
no, this is what the
Stevie,
kids are doing. The kids are FaceTiming. I'm FaceTiming.
yeah, well, FaceTime it is. He ain't
Yeah,
never scared.
I'm not scared to FaceTime. I remember someone telling me these stories are legendary, as you well
Yeah.
know. Someone's like, yeah, the other day I was in the elevator. Stevie Wonder walked in and pressed floor 4. I was like, whatever. You know what I mean?
He's silly like that. He does stuff like that. And but a lot of these elevators have the braille on it, so he
That's what
probably
I
has.
said. And they were like, no, there was no braille. I went there. I went to the logical response. And then one of my other friends was like, no, I saw Stevie Wonder driving. Seriously, legit. He was driving down the street the other day in
Now
LA.
they're being silly. They're being silly.
No, they were this the
I
way.
have I haven't seen him drive yet. Now that's silly. Somebody being silly, and I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight him
Okay.
on it.
Can your mentor see? Yay or nay?
I don't know.
But you think he can. Correct?
I remember talking with him in the studio and asking him, does he want to see again? And I remember something to the effect of, I don't know if it would be the same for me. Like, because he's so genius with the absence of that
Everything
particular
else, yeah,
sense.
everything else is heightened.
So
Yeah.
everything else is heightened.
Hmm.
And I think that's what makes him so remarkable.
Hmm.
But I think he's mastered the heightened element of everything else to where it feels like this man is looking at me right now. Like
Mm.
it feels like he's connected with everything else that we just dismiss because we have all of our senses. We don't think we're not as in tune to everything else. But I wouldn't be surprised he could see a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
I'm like, I need
Maybe
everybody.
light and dark. Maybe light and dark. Maybe he can do the light and dark thing for sure.
There are too many instances where I've heard people say he's driving, he comes into an elevator, he'll walk by himself without anybody help. Like he knows what.
No, they're lying. He does not walk by himself. He gets help. People are making that stuff up. They're trying to be funny. They trying to be funny, and I'll fight them for them.
I digress. So
Yeah,
he comes out. He says he introduces you in front of this room full of
yeah. In the
luminaries,
Microsoft Theater. Yeah,
and
yeah. And he
lu-
says,
and the luminaries are listening, and the people who are there at the event are listening. And he says this will be the wedding song for years to come. He essentially
absolutely,
christens you and says, "If I say it be, it be." So then what happens?
exactly that. My song, and you've been to enough weddings to probably know that you've heard "Why I Love You." This is why I love you at most of them at some point. And it is wild because 1 out of 3 weddings in the urban community, my song is one of them. And it is crazy because it's not just soundtracking weddings, it's people, playing them in church services, playing them to relearn how to love themselves again. It's a soundtrack to babies being born and babies being made. I literally have fans that are like, "That's that. You see her right there. That's from your song." And I'm like, "Okay, but I ain't paying child support." But anyway, it's crazy because it literally has become that.